Hello, welcome students to Show Up Sir classes. So today we will be doing a very interesting topic and it will be very helpful for those candidates or those aspiring candidates, those who are preparing for the technical interviews at different companies and different MNCs to be specific. So this will be helpful for them. So today you can see in the screen that we have started with this new series on particular the focusing on the interview preparation and focusing mostly on the technical interview preparation for most of the companies. So today we have taken this very popular and one of the most important qualifier test in India, that is and it is actually for the freshers who have this just a pass out from the college. So I will discuss this first and then we will move on to our today's question. So today we will solve the question from TCS National Qualifier Test. So what is this TCS NQT? It is a multi-level assessment to access the competencies and the skills of anyone who are looking for job and applying for this in the technical positions. So the first point, you can see that the competence on the core cognitive process required for the entry-level jobs, industry specific knowledge and insights, and specialization skills required to perform various job roles. So this is the focus on the basis of, we can say, the TCS National Qualifier Test, and this is a prerequisite for all tests, you can see, right? So and the valid for 2 years is there, the validation for 2 years, and you can give it online or at physical in center at the authorized exam center of TCS. And it is also flexible, so you can see that only the base score will be published for the candidates applying using the same NQT registration number. So you can give your this test as many as time as want to get a better score or the best score. So as your score is the most is on the upper side, so you will get a chance from different companies. And also this TCS National Qualifier Test has been followed by different companies as their this preliminary aptitude or the cognitive test. And candidates with this NTU score can apply for jobs on the TCS Ion job listing portal, so you can have this advantage. Now coming to the part eligibility criteria, so who can apply for this TCS NQT? So the UG, PG and the diploma students who are there in their final year, pre-final year, they can apply. Final year on a pass out, and student with any degree and specialization can apply, and they must be freshers with less than 2 years of experience. Now coming to the main the objective of our today's this lecture, and or most important of this lecture series, that you can see that TCS NQT exam paper has a total of 5 papers, including the verbal ability, reasoning ability, numerical ability, programming logic, and hands-on coding. So the thing is that we have seen through the previous years on the performance of the students, that students those who are in their final year or the pre-final year student, so they have the skills on the verbal ability, the reasoning ability, and the numeric ability. So our motive or our objective is to getting students prepared with the programming logic and the hands-on coding. That is on the technical part. The most important, the technical part, what is the programming languages. So this focus will be on programming languages. So today we will be solving this question from programming languages only, and also our focus will be on coding, or you can say pseudo code, yeah, understanding these things. So in the upcoming lectures we'll look into that, and some part of this computer science and electronic science. So this we will cover in our technical round, because you know that in any company, this depending on this MNCs, those who are in the particular IT or ITES sector, so they in their preliminary round, they actually focus on, apart from the verbal ability, reasoning ability, and the numerical ability, so they actually focus on these three parts. So we will look into this one by one, and today we will discuss only the this TCS. In this lecture we will discuss only the TCS NQT programming languages or the programming logic, and we will see 9 questions that have came in TCS NQT, and we'll solve one by one. So I hope that you have understand what is the this objective and what is the motivation behind this lecture series, and we'll be starting with this today. Now, without any more delay, let's start with our today's programming logic. That the question that we have faced that have came in TCS NQT. Let's start. So the question one, and it is the data types. That is, we are solving the question mostly focused on the data types in the programming logic. So the question one says that Neelam wants to share her code with a colleague who may modify it. Thus, she wants to include the date of the program creation, the author, and other with the program. So what component should she use? So 4 options we have: the header files, the iteration, the comments, and the pre-processing. So we will go the one option by option. So what is let us understand what is a header file. Okay. So this header files, these are the set of predefined standard library function. And in C you have seen different types of header files are there. Suppose this is the stdio.h or conio.h, math.h. So these are the header files, and it is actually coming with a .h extension, right? So what is the standard IO? This stdio, this is the standard input output functions. Conio is the console input output, and the math is for the mathematical function. So these are the set of only predefined standard library functions. Iteration. So we know that iteration means in any programming language is repeating a number, this repetition of a process in order to generate a sequence of outcomes, and it may be for a specified number of times or until a condition is met, right? So this is about this iteration. So you can say this is a process of repetition until any condition is met. And comments. Okay, what is the comments? So we can see that we use this in Python. We use the hash this for any commenting on any line that is not associated with the programming logic, but it will help to explain the things that what is happening in the code, right? So it is helpful that as if one coder writes the code and he or she also write the comments, so that other developer can easily understand about the coding logic. So it comments is actually nothing but it is explaining in simple language, or you can say in simple language and in simple terms, to explaining what is happening in the code, so that anyone who wish to check on the code other than the coder or the programmer, so they can easily understand. And what is the preprocessor, the final one? So you can see preprocessor, or you can see it as a pre-compiler, right? So it is a program that processes, it inputs data to produce the output data, and it is used as an input to another program. So it is actually in C, preprocessor is not a part of the program, it's not a part of the compiler, but it is a separate step in the compilation process. Okay, and we can see that whenever we are using this stdioh or this conio.h or math.h, you can see that we used to include this option, this hash include. For every any of the header files, we use this hash include. So suppose we can write this for starting any C program. If we want to any mathematical function, so we will write at the starting of the program that hash include math.h, right? So I think that this 4 options are clear for the definitions. So and we can easily identify the correct answer out of it. So since Neelam wants to share her code with a colleague, and so that the colleague may understand what is happening in the code. So the component that Nilam should use is the comments. So this is the correct option, the comments. Question number 2 is saying that which is used to convert source code to target language, and we have four options: linker, loader, executor, compiler. So again we will check with the definition. What is a linker? What is a linker? So it is a program that holds one or more object files, and it is created by compiler. Okay, we will check what is a compiler. And is created by compiler and combines them into one executable file. It is implemented both at the load time as well as compilation time or compile time. And we have this, the implementation of linker can be dynamic or static. So both two types are there, dynamic and static. So dynamic is implemented during the non-time and it requires less memory, whereas the static is implementation during the compilation of the source program and it requires more memory. Okay, these two types of linkers are there. So this is about linker. Now what is a loader? So yeah, loader is a program that loads the machine codes of a program into the system memory, and it is a part of the operating system of the computer that is responsible for loading the program. So you are doing this whenever you are loading a program. It involves the reading the contents of an executable file into memory. That is the function of a loader. Okay, so now is the executor. What is an executor is? It may be executor, TER or TOR, whatever the thing. So it is simply an object that executes submitted runnable tasks. It is used for execution, and what it can execute? Runnable task, right? And it is similar to calling new thread. So actually you can see this executor in more or less in the Java. So the threading concept is coming from there. We know in the, to create new thread, suppose it is also a framework having a bunch of components that are used for managing worker threads efficiently. So that is an executor. And finally, coming to our this last one, the option is the compiler. What is a compiler? So we have some idea about this compiler and interpreter. So a compiler is a program that translates the source code from a high level programming language to a lower level language that is computer understandable. So okay, so it is a high level to low level means it can be an assembly language that is understandable by the machine. Okay, so this is the converter it is doing. It is used for converting the source code. So the low level language can be assembly language, we can say the object code or a machine code to create an executable program. So we have already found our answer. So what will be the correct answer? So in this case the compiler is the correct answer. So let's see some. We have already mentioned that about a compiler and interpreter. So we have seen this thing. So compiler is more intelligent than interpreter because it goes through the entire code at once and it can tell the possible errors and limit and ranges, and this makes this compiler, this operating system, a little bit slower, whereas interpreter is a little bit fast. And it is also platform dependent because not all programming languages that follows this compiler, or it is a compile language. For example, our C, Java, the C++, these are all this compile language. And in interpreter case, what you'll find, the Python is the one of the example where this is an interpreted language. So it's platform dependent, and it helps detect error and gets displayed after reading the entire code by compiler. So compilation means you are taking as a whole and then you are going through this entire code at once. So which is used to convert the source code in the target language, and these are very understandable that this is a answer to be compiled. Question 3, that a 10-bit unsigned integer has the following range. So out of the 4 functions, you have to find which has the following range. But let's get through it from the theoretical point of view. So we have this signed integer and unsigned integer and unsigned integer we have. So signed means the leftmost bit of the binary representation of that integer is used to show the sign of the integer. So where in the sign means that 1 means it's negative for the LSB, that is a left significant bit, and 0 means positive. So where it is a negative number or a positive number, and the rest of the bits is used to represent the magnitude of the integer. So you can say that 1 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0. So if it is a signed number, so then 1 is the LSB, the leftist most, this leftmost bit, it is the LSB. So if it is 1, so it is negative, so we can say this signed bit is a negative binary number. And whereas the unsigned means that all the bits in the binary representation of the integer are used to show its magnitude, and hence it can take any positive value, 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 0. This is also an unsigned number. There is no this every from this whatever the 9 bits you can see. So these are all it represents the magnitude of the bit. So we can also write 1 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 1. So this is also an unsigned bit. Okay, so so in the question we have a 10 bit unsigned integer, right? So the 10 bits will unsigned, since it is unsigned, so it will represent the magnitude only, right? So it will represent the magnitude of the integer. So it can range from 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 to 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So this you can see the 10 bits, which is nothing but the, in decimal it means from 0 to 2 to the power 10 minus 1, which is nothing but, if we solve this from 0 to, this is 1 2 to the power 10 means 1024 minus 1 is 1023. So our correct options is this 0 to 1023. So question number 4, Richa wants to store a list of binary data. So which of the following data types should she use? So this is a quite straightforward question. The options are Boolean, integer, character, and the floating. So we know that this binary data is there, and binary data can be represented only by 2 digits, 2 bits. You can say 1 and 0. So the option for this, the correct option is Boolean, because Boolean is used to represent it can store only 2 values, 1 and 0. So Richa can store a list of binary data in this Boolean data type. Okay, so you have this idea about integer, character, and floating. So this integer means any real numbers, and character is a string, where the floating you can go for any decimal point. So to represent the decimal point, that is use floating for that. And remember one thing, this Boolean, integer, this character, that is nothing but the string. Okay, and the floating point number, the floating point representation. So it is a little tricky and quite bit difficult to represent floating point representation, because it also this can show some error. So but the thing is that these 4 data types, character and the floating, so these 4 data types all are immutable data types. This is a point to be noted from your end, that the question may ask in that sense that out of this which are the four this immutable data types. Immutable means you cannot change the structure and during the runtime. Okay, you cannot change it once you created this boolean or integer. You cannot change the you cannot change it afterwards. Okay, so once you have this example of tuple also, which is also immutable data type, so you cannot change it once you give this while runtime or during execution. You cannot change the variables of this particular data types, that is those which are immutable. Okay, so in our this so it is a quite straightforward. So in the simple answer is boolean, option A. So question 5 is saying that which of the following options is an exception to being a part of this composite data type. So we have the composite data type. So the four options are given, that is union, structure, array, stack. So let's start with this. What is this? First of all, understand what is the composite data structure. These composite data types are data types that have one or more fields dynamically linked to fields in another data type. So composite you can understand from the term definition itself, terminology. These are useful for creating a single data type that references information in more than one data source. So we have this composite data type means in single data type. So this is, and you have information from source 1, you have data from different directions. Okay, source 2. So this is a composite data type. Now what is a union? So it is a special data type available in this C programming language that allows to store different data types in the same memory. So storing of different data types in same memory location. So this is the union. Okay, so this union provides an efficient way of using the same memory location for multiple purposes. Now the second option is structure. So what is a structure? The structure is a key. It is a keyword that create user-defined data types in C++, and a structure creates a data type that can be used to group items of possibly different types into a single type. So this combination, you can say, or the more appropriate word is grouping of items of different types into a single type. That is a structure. Now what is an array? So an array is a data structure which can store a fixed collection of elements of the same data type, right? So it can store, so what is an array? It can store elements of the same data type. Okay, and an array is used to store a collection of data, but it is often more useful to think of an array as a collection of variables of the same data type. And finally we have the stack. So we have this concept of stack from this linked list, if you can remember the particular of the data structure. So what is a stack? It is a linear data structure that follows the last in first out. So in case of, suppose I want to represent, so in case of array, you can see that you can represent it an array before moving on to the stack. So it has some same data type, this elements of the same data type should be there. So you can represent array just like this. So this is the num at 0, num 1, num 2. Okay, so this is the first element and this is the last element. This is an array. Okay. Now what is a stack? Stack is this is a linear data structure that follows the last in first out principle. It contains only one pointer, the stop pointer pointing to the topmost element of the stack, and whenever an element is added in the stack, it is added on the top of the stack, and the element can be deleted only from the stack. So it can only from the top of the stack. Okay, so we can say that a stack can be defined as a container in which insertion and deletion can be done from the one end, known as the top of the stack. So if I have a stack something like this, and if I want to, so stack is like just like a bucket. Okay, so where you can you want to store, suppose you want to store 5 elements. So this is element 1, element 2, element 3. So we will place one by one. So 4 and 11 5. So what you do whenever doing this, inserting 1 into there, so you are using this pushing 1. So first to take out 1, you have to so for initially you have to push with 1 and go up to 5. You cannot directly make 5 out of it. So since it follows the LIFO structure, the last in first out, so this is one of the operation is push, another operation is pop. So if we want to pop, means we want to remove this thing. So if we want to pop the 5 out of it, so it will remain with 1, 2, 3, 4 elements, and you just put it out of this for 5. So now if you want to pop 1, so you have to pop 4, 3, 2 first of all, and then you can pop 1 out of it. So that is the structure. So here in our example, this it is quite straightforward, that which of the following option is an exception. It is not a part of the composite data type. So it is, we can say that the union structure array are the data types, but stack is a linear data structure. So our correct option for this is stack. Yeah, now the question number 6. So a data type is stored as a 6-bit signed integer. So which of the following cannot be represented by this data type? So it is understand this data type is stored as a 6-bit 6-bit signed integer. So for n bits, if we consider for n bits, so we have to solve this problem. So for the n bits, the range of the 2's complement, this signed integers that are allowed is from the 2 to the power minus of 2 to the power n minus 1 to 2 to the power n minus 1 minus of 1. So this is the range of the n bits, for n bits the range of the 2 complement. Okay, the signed integers. So minus 2 to the power n minus 1 to 2 to the power n minus 1 minus of 1. Okay, so for the given question we have asked the range of the 6-bit signed integer. So for the 6-bit, the range of the 2's complement signed integer that are allowed is, so 2 to the power n, so n is equal to 6. So we have the 6 bits over here. So it will be minus of 2 to the power 6 minus 1 is 5 to 2 to the power 5 minus 1. So minus 2 to the power 5 means minus 32, 2 to the power 5 minus 1 means 31. So this both numbers are included from minus 32 to plus 31, and this you can say that you cannot include 32 and 64, right? It cannot be this represented using the 6-bit. So in our options, so let's check the options. So option number 4, that is 32, is the correct option. It cannot be represented by this data type, where you can represent 6 minus 12 and 18. Question 7 is saying that what is the output of the following code statements? The compiler saves the first integer at the memory location 4165 and the rest at the consecutive memory space in order of declaration, and integer is 1 byte long. So we have this the program. You can see that integer of a, pointer c comma d, a equal to 30 is given, and c is an percent of a, d equal to c, and a equal to a plus 10. So you have to print the pointer C. So this is the question. So you can see that, so a is an, first of all we can write that a is an integer variable, right, because we have a declared a equal to 30, and C and D, these are the pointer variables. Okay, so initially a is assigned as 30, we know a equal to 30. Now see that C equal to n percent a, so C is pointing this n percent, we can write it, C is equal to n percent a, so we can say that C is pointed to a and D is assigned to C, right? So C and D both points A. Now in the last line of the code, that A is incremented with 10, so A becomes A plus 10, so it becomes 30 plus 10, that is equal to 40, and this pointer C, star of C, it will print the value of the variable, that is C pointed to 40. So this we will have only, it will print out 40 only. Okay, it is not mentioning the location rather than the computation of this number. Okay, so the correct option is the option B we have. So this is a the first, you can see how to solve this type of problem. So this is option number 40 is the correct option. Question number 8 is saying that a language has 28 different letters in total, and each word in the language is composed of maximum 7 letters, and you want to create a data type to store a word of this language. Decide to store the word as an array of letters. How many bytes will you assign to the data type to be able to store all kinds of word of the language? Right, so this is one of the question, and we have to find how many bytes will you assign to the data type to be able to store all kinds of words of the language, right? So first thing to know that the size of character data type, or the char data type, is 1 byte. Okay, so the question is pretty straightforward, that we need to know the store, need to store the name of the 7 letters. Okay, the 7 letters should be in char array. Okay, so to store 7 letters, what we need only an array size, an array of 7 size, right? So when you need a 7 size, and each of the sizes data type is 1, so only need how many the bytes will assign, will only assign 7 bytes. This is the correct answer. So this is the 7 is the correct answer, because we have already mentioned that each word in the language is composed of maximum 7 letters. So we need maximum an array of size 7, and that is the maximum. One data type size of one character is 1 byte. For the 7, it will have the 7 bytes. So we can say it is a pretty unitary method type of thing. Okay, so correct option is 7. So question number 9 says that Parul takes an input, two numbers A and B, and A and B can take integer values between 0 and 255. So these A and B are integers, and it can take value 0 to 255 out of this range. She stores A, B, and C as 1 byte data type. She writes the following code statement to process A and B and put the result in C. So what is the expression? C equal to A plus twice of B. To her surprise, her program gives the right output with some input values of A and B, while gives an erroneous answer for others. So for which of the following inputs will it give a wrong answer? So we have to go with this mathematical expression and check on with the options. So option 1 is A equal to 200, B equal to 10. So C is nothing but 220, right? So it ranges, it fall within the range of 255, so this is correct. Option 2, A equal to 10 and B equal to 200. So this 200 will go for 400, and yes, so C will be 400 plus 10, that is 410, which is greater than 255. So we have to find for which of the following inputs it will give a wrong answer. So this is one of the input, that A equal to 10 and B equal to 200, because it is greater than 255, which you cannot this store over here. So let's check with the other option also. A equal to 50, B equal to 100. So it is C is coming out as 250. Okay, that is fine, which is less than 255. And option 4, A equal to 100, B equal to 50. So C equal to will be 100 plus 50 into 2, that is 200, which is also within the range of 255. So in our case, the only the wrong answer for this value of A equal to 10 and B equal to 200. So the correct option is this. So that's all for, so we have solved the 9 questions out of the data types from this TCS NQT paper. So in the upcoming lecture, I hope that you have understood these things. So what are the questions that you may face and how to solve these questions. So in the next lecture, we will look on to some other topics in the programming logic, so such as the function. We will see the linked list, different types of data structures, the function and the scope. Okay, so we will look into that. So at this moment, so this is all about the data types, and we will come with some more topics in upcoming lectures. Thank you.